something that's been on my mind, but I have never verbalized because I just didn't think it was my issue. I didn't think it was my problem. But apparently it is my problem. In fact, this is more my problem than anybody else's. So I need to come out and say this, and to feminists, homosexuals and weeboos are your largest enemy. More than the heterosexual male, more than the chauvinist, alpha, college frat boy, more than any of that. You should worry about the, obsessive Japanese anime, bisexual weirdos that they revel in rape fantasies and patriarchy. Because, if you actually look into the weeboo culture and all the anime they like and shit, it's all about raping women. It's about victimizing women that cannot defend themselves, whether it be from a tentacle monster or just a bunch of big buff guys gang raping them. There's this one hentai game where you essentially rape different handicapped women. I mean, I'm talking women without arms, blind women, deaf women, and it's essentially about you getting your pick of having your way with someone that is handicapped. It is that depraved and ridiculous. And this is the majority. This is what I talk about when I say moderators are evil and despicable. Because, like on that TV Tropes page, they love to talk about how they're fair-minded and rational people. What was the first thing they were talking about? Pedophilia and how it should be legalized, rape and how it's not that big a deal, and things like that. They even suggested that they should ban somebody that speaks of suicidal thoughts. How is that rational? If someone is coming to you about how they have reached rock bottom and they cannot turn to their family or their friends, so they go to you for moral support, and they are on the verge of suicide, and you ban them. What does that say? What does that say about your character? What does that say about your sense of reasoning? What does that say about anything? Why are you allowed to do anything? You shouldn't be allowed to vote. You shouldn't be allowed to talk. You should be dead. Because such a scumbag could not possibly exist in a rational world. And that is what we're dealing with. And it affects women most of all. Because it is women that they want to victimize. It is women they want to make a sport out of. It is women that feel the brunt of their sexual debauchery and insanity. So, feminists need to really consider who they align themselves with. Because the vast majority of pro-homosexuals and homosexual deviants go hand in hand with this weeboo mentality of pro-rape, pro-pedophilia, and overall just pro-hurting other people. So you need to think about that. And like I said, the only reason why I haven't said this so far is because, I didn't think that connection was that deep. I mean, I always knew, but I did not think that feminists would be willing to listen. Because I know feminism and the LGBT are closely at the hip. But it is detrimental to you. It is destructive to your goals as women's rights to align with these psychopaths. You will never accomplish what you want so long as they exist. And this has gone on for thousands of years. This isn't something that just happened, in the postmodern era. For thousands of years, homosexuals have always been pro-fascist and empirical. They have always had... The samurai were homosexuals. The Nazis were homosexual. Ancient Rome was full of homosexuals. Do you see a pattern? Where did women have a place in those empires? No. In fact, in the samurais, they purposely married little boys. That way they did not have to marry a woman. Because in the event the samurai died, whoever was left... whoever they married was left their fortune, their land, their power, their money, and, they didn't want to give that to a woman. They thought so lowly of a woman, that they would rather marry a little boy. That way they could shape the little boy and, teach him their values. And at the same time, they were perverted and liked little boy's penis. So it was convenient for them. That mentality has not changed. Just because we're more advanced technologically, just because, we're not the Japanese samurai, does not mean that mentality has changed. That same principle dominates even today. And more than anybody else, it is women that will be affected. So, as feminists, you really need to think long and hard about who you are aligning yourself with. And I don't just say this, because I'm not talking out of my ass. Do I look like I just thought this up one day? No, it's been something that's been haunting me for a while. But like I said, I figured people are stubborn. Whether they're men or women, black, white, whatever. People are arrogant, they're evil, they're stupid, they're too stupid to govern themselves. But if there is a hint of rationality in you, and in my experience, women do tend to be more rational than men, you will see what I am saying and the dangers that lie ahead by continuing to exalt the homosexuals and, the weeboos and all these other social rejects. There's a reason they're losers. Not everyone deserves their plight, but they do. They deserve everything they get. So, that's just something you need to think about. And that's it.